3 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning to you. Welcome to Island Tea, the nation's premier AM show. Okay.
Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis. How are we doing this morning?
We are doing good.
Alrighty, righty. Good morning, AC.
Hey,
My
good
man.
morning. How is everyone doing?
Good. You?
I'm good. It's a beautiful...
Hump day?
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, already.
Oh my God.
The second to last day
Can tell.
of November.
You can tell when people are living too good, huh?
That's-
it's Wednesday?
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
know.
Yeah, the days are just going by pretty
Very
quick.
fast. Christmas is
Yeah.
soon here. My niece and nephew are saying 2 more days before December, and then they think it's 2 more days before Christmas. My niece and my nephew was discussing it yesterday, and I'm like, no, we have plenty more days. And my niece tell my nephew, yeah, until the 25th. But they are geared up. They
Well,
want lights on the outside. They're just excited for Christmas.
They clearly have the mentality like or the mindset like Vibes Carter, that song I played after the news. He says, when December starts, every day is Christmas.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and
I
the
see.
Christmas music, everything is being,
Played.
yes.
Yep.
So I see in terms of the news, tell us, Kortensia, what have you seen
I want us to touch on that slap yesterday.
on that?
Did you see the student at Bassett High School, the young lady that the young gentleman slapped yesterday, like
Oh, no, I
like
did-
it was his child?
I didn't. Wow.
Oh, my-
Tell us.
Azard, I don't know if they were playing, what
Mhm.
argument ensued, but he missed her the first time it seemed, but then he came the second time and he slapped. I swear he slapped everything out of her. And then she tried to defend herself, but because he looked like he was going to come back and do it again, she just stood there on her phone like nothing happened. And I do not know who filmed, because the person that were filming,
Mm-hmm.
or the persons that were filming, they end up running backwards because I don't know what they expected to happen. And I wonder if the headmistress or any other teacher saw that. Because,
I only saw one. I saw a very short video, so
yeah, that's it.
you saw the same one?
Yeah,
So
this-
because you said you saw them step back. So I thought-
Yeah.
Oh.
You realize the person that was filming, they had some persons that run back,
Oh, I
including
didn't
the
see that.
person that
Not-
was filming. So I don't know what
Not
they
in-
expected to
not in
ensue.
the video I saw.
But the other day I was driving going down the road too, and I had to stop and talk to a young man because I asked him if he ever sees a car in hospital, because he was just hitting the girls with a redhead tie too. And I just find that distasteful. Like, even if you're playing, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see that video at all. Wow, I really have to look
Didn't
at
we
it
have that in the
after.
chat? Isn't that where I saw that?
get, as I said, we
Oh.
talk so much
Okay.
sometimes when one of us reach, the other won't be able to see it because
Remember
it
I
has
told you
gone up
yesterday
so far.
on the weekend at one point, when I looked at, I was like 91. 91. What?
Exactly.
I said, what are they talking about? 91 messages. I
I'm
missed.
gonna send it to you right now so you
In
can
one
get
chat.
a look at what is happening. I do not understand. I hope the principal sees it and does something about that young man, because to me he resembled the same young man that I had to speak to the other day on the road.
Wow.
Okay.
It's just we really have to look into these things and
I saw
parents-
this. I saw this slap. I was like, that has to be a joke.
Joke?
That's what I was thinking. But it was
Who slapped somebody that
It was
hard?
pretty
And,
hard.
and
yeah.
she tried to go after him, and then he looks like, you come again and you'll get a next one. So
was
he's
it an adult?
No,
I sent it to
students.
you. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Two
two students. Yes, the young man
Wow.
is in like his P shirt, the blue shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's in full uniform.
Oh wow.
So I don't know if it's during lunchtime, because it didn't look like class was happening. It looked like it was some form of free time.
I think
And yeah,
I think this segues nicely into the other conversation we wanted to have, because about the
IDs, Azad. What about the
Oh.
IDs? You realize the age of the children. I was having a conversation with a young lady, and she brought it up to me yesterday, that it's all lip service and nothing is happening. You realize the age of the children that are on the strip or that are at bars, that are in VIP. Azad, when did we go to VIP? When we became adults, right?
I don't even know if I got VIP yet.
But I'm just saying, right?
I don't even know if VIPs existed.
I know, I'm just joking. Yeah.
Yeah, but we need
But-
the ID card so that the kids can show the ID cards. And I don't want to beat up on the police, but the police are on the strip. If
But-
you see a child that doesn't look like 18, you send them off the strip, or you charge their parents, because I don't understand how parents have these young kids outside this late.
Yes, exactly. And the thing about it too, even if you don't have identification cards for persons under the age of 18. The fact that they don't have cards shows that they're under the age of 18, because usually we get the voters
ID.
ID at the age of 18. Well, yes, we get it at the age of 18. We get our driver's license if we qualified at the age of 18. If we started working, usually that would be the time, 18.
So what
You
you're
get your
saying, if
social-
they can't produce
So if
an
it really
ID, they
we
shouldn't be
can't-
able to buy a drink. If they can't
Yeah.
produce-
Exactly. So
Okay.
so so even in the absence of a national identification card that would capture everybody, if you can produce an ID right now showing that you're above the age of 18, then
Or 18 and above.
yeah. So
And what is our drinking age? Imagine a 10-year-old, in the conversation she also mentioned, imagine a 10-year-old can go to the store and buy alcohol for their parents. That should not be
Yeah.
allowed. In the US, you have to wait until you're 21 to get your first drink, unless you're drinking illegally and nobody knows.
well, that child is actually against the law. You can't do it, but it's whether or not it's enforced. It's not really enforced. People really don't.
It's on the books.
I don't. You're not supposed to be giving alcoholic beverages or selling alcoholic beverages to minors. You're not supposed to.
So
No,
the
but you
parents
didn't-
need to
but
go
you
get
didn't-
it themselves and stop
But
selling
you
the
didn't
little
answer the
kids for
question.
it.
Is it on the books?
I
He said he wasn't
do
sure.
I do
Oh,
believe that
okay.
it's on the
Mhm.
books. Whether
Okay.
to find it exactly, I'll have to find it exactly. But you are not supposed to be selling drinks to minors, and I'm pretty sure that it's there. It's just for me to look for it, but I'm pretty sure that it's there.
What about selling a costume to a 16-year-old? Because we know they're playing carnival too. We know carnival is coming up. We know a lot of things is going to happen. They're going to be in the Juve morning troupe. They're going to be in the carnival. What are we doing about these children?
And it also, we also, before you came, Easy, I was telling her about how I used to talk all the time about the movie problem as well. Kids going to movies that are not intended for their age. Meaning, imagine you're going to see, say, Deadpool. Deadpool was rated R, and you're 12. You should not be in there.
But
Oh.
then jumps there are ways and means that these children can still get to see Deadpool because they can download it when nobody's watching.
Yeah, but at least.
I don't understand. We need some parental control. We need the help, be it government, be it whatever, because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. I said, why should we be liming with, as we would say colloquially, little pick a nigga? That's not how we hung out before.
Definitely, and I think
Oh,
even
boy.
when it comes to the drinking, you have a license to sell alcohol, but that license doesn't qualify you to sell it to minors.
To minors,
You
exactly.
understand? So, it's really what we allow. And again, you see Juve troops. What you were talking about, Juve
Yes.
troops? Yeah, you see troops now catering to younger and younger.
Why?
people.
Those children need to be home. Where are their parents? And you know, a lot of the parents living their lives through these kids too, because I couldn't get this, so I'm going to ensure my kid
Yep.
get it. And
Yep.
But that doesn't make sense
Yeah.
because we're leading them down the wrong road. Look at our baby dress. When I can't say when we were babies because I won't know. But growing up, babies never wore halter bag. Babies never wore hard shoes. Babies had their nice little soft shoes. And now we dressing the kids like little adults.
And designer stuff too.
Ridiculous. Why am I going to buy a designer shoe that's going to run out in 3 months? That's madness.
Well, I saw a video just the other day of they put in, the hair on a child.
Fake
like,
hair.
Like whatever they do.
The lace front
the
fake
lace,
hair.
Yeah, that thing.
Azard.
saw
I
it in a video.
hurt.
You
Because
saw
you're
it?
pulling out, yes, you're pulling out the child little hairs that haven't formed as yet.
I was like, wow. I
This
was
is
like-
crazy.
So, looking at some of the news as well, we look at the ICJ to hand down ruling in Guyana-Venezuela dispute on Friday. So we know the referendum is going to be taking
the
place
3rd.
on the 3rd.
Mhm.
So even before the 3rd, the ICJ is going to hand down a ruling as it relates to the Guyana-Venezuela border dispute. The International Court of Justice Tuesday said it would deliver on Friday its order on Guyana's request for the indication of provisional measures aimed at preventing Venezuela from holding a referendum over the ownership of the material and forest-rich county of Essequibo. In a statement, the ICJ said a public sitting will take place on Friday afternoon at 3 p.m., during which Judge Joan E. Donahue, president of the court, will read the court's order. The ICJ had last week reserved its judgment to Guyana's claim that it has evidence that Venezuela intends to gain ownership of the material and forest-rich county of
Mineral.
the ownership of the mineral and forest-rich county of Essequibo, and through the referendum on December 3rd. So both Guyana and Venezuela made presentations. So Venezuela was there making presentations. So the ICJ, during 2 days of hearing into the case relating to the 1899 arbitrational award after Guyana, in its request, had said that the Venezuela government, through its National Electoral Council, had published a list of 5 questions that it intends to put before the people of Venezuela in a consultative referendum next month.
Yep. So I guess they just handed it down early. I think they're fed up, and I don't know if you realize, but the U.S. has arrived in Guyana.
Oh no, I haven't realized
the
that.
Air Force
Oh.
has arrived, and I think it's, as I will always put it back to greed. If Guyana wasn't suddenly producing that much oil, I don't think Venezuela would have come back with this claim to fame for 2/3 of Guyana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is an interesting development. Well, we have a segment. We are going to be speaking with a representative from the constituency empowerment at 8:15. So stick and stay, guys. We're going to take a short break and get back to you.
From the South, 98.9.
Inland Revenue Department, collect the taxes.
Discover the future of tax administration. WINNFM brings you an enlightening 30-minute panel discussion on December 1st, exploring the Inland Revenue Department's smart e-government portal. Mark your calendars and join us for this insightful journey into tax innovation at 9 a.m.
Survival to contribute. We serve Inland Revenue Department.
This is the official invitation to the conscious party.
Get conscious, get down to business every Wednesday with Conscious Business. Join the Conscious Musical Reasoning with Select the Highest, strictly positive and conscious music on Conscious Business on WINNFM 98.9, WINNFM.com. Vibes include Business Education Corner, Business Quote of the Day, Agriculture Time, and Mama Love Track of the Day.
Mama, I don't ever want to see you cry.
Conscious Business is brought to you by Like New Steam Cleaning. You too can get exposure and awareness for your business when you call WINNFM's sales department to advertise here. Conscious Business is positive growth.
Let's get real on WINNFM. Hi, this is Lavi. Get ready for an hour of real talk that will keep you engaged and informed. Join us every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. for Real Talk with Lavi as I dive into the hottest topics of the moment, bringing you insights and perspectives that matter from the runway to the political arena. Real Talk with Lavi covers it all. Let's get real Monday nights on WINNFM.
Found 8:17, and it's time for our next segment.
Yes,
We've
it
got,
is.
Some agents from the government.
Yep.
But we're not in trouble, are we?
No. Remember, agent is a neutral term.
Yes. So we're here with the Ministry of Constituency Empowerment, and we have three individuals here, so we're going to ask them to introduce themselves quickly. Just tell us about yourself and why you're here this morning.
Good morning to everyone. Darren Edmead. Morning. Darren Edmead from the Department of Environment.
Okay.
Yeah, actually the director at that the department.
Blessed morning. Mr. Bishop Daniel from Parks and Beaches. Come to talk about the cleanup.
And I am Colleen Levine, Director for the Department of Constituency Empowerment.
Okay, so Department of Constituency Empowerment, and wonderful. And this morning, they are here to speak with us about the National Christmas Cleanse. So, give us an idea of what this is all about, the National Christmas Cleanse.
All right, so, last year, you would have had the activity by the Constituency Empowerment leading on it, where in December, we try to remove as much garbage as possible from different communities. Now, this year, the government decided that they wanted to be on a larger scale. So here we are today to, just to make the public aware that the activity will be once again be going on, and, they don't have to wait until the allotted time that we have here for the cleanup, but they can start to do their cleanup now, and whatever is left when we come around for the days that we'll make the public aware of soon, and they can utilize the services that will be provided during that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
You speak about them cleaning up, so you mean the annual Christmas cleaning, throwing out their mattress, etc., and then the department goes and pick it up? Is
Correct.
that what we're talking about?
Everything that we can take up except vehicles.
So the vehicles is up to them.
Yes, awesome. So, tell us the reason for this activity, though. Why is it that the constituency, the department, is really doing this activity?
Well, two of the things that we realize. Well, first, it's the government's duty to ensure that we live up to our SDGs in terms of keeping the area clean. SDG number 3 and 11 speaks to good health and well-being. It speaks to sustainable cities and communities. And with that, we understand the importance of ensuring that our communities are clean. Of course, we do also took into consideration that there are persons who may not be able to, let's say, get their particular type of waste to the landfill. And we saw this as an opportunity to provide some form of assistance. Not an annual activity, not an annual event, but whenever the Ministry of Constituency Empowerment, Environment, and the other partnering agencies see the need to come out and do an activity like this. So I just wanted to make it clear that it's not an annual event. It's when we feel, so we don't want persons to, wait until December every year to say the government is going to come and remove their waste.
So if somebody has waste, could they call the government any time of the year, though, to ask for help?
Well, they can call, but it depends on the type of help they will get.
Okay, alrighty.
Because one of the things that we don't want to move away from is that the waste is everyone's responsibility, and it's your responsibility to get the waste to the designated places.
Okay, can we know some of those wastes end up being designated in the guts where they shouldn't be?
And I'm sure some of those designated wastes were paid for.
Oh, wow, that's so sad. Mr. Daniel, I want to bring you in on a conversation. What is your role in this National Christmas cleanup?
Well, on the whole, Parks and Beaches play a big role in the Christmas cleanup. Because we mostly are the manpower.
Okay.
We are the people in the field, go out, make sure that your fridge gets showered.
Okay.
We knock on your door and I tell you if you got ask if you got any trash in that you come out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we encourage the people who live far and who live close by God. Cleanliness next to godliness, so don't throw them next down the God.
Yeah.
If you want help to get them out, my number 6619611.
I like that.
Give me a call and you send the boys them and get it.
Okay.
Oh, wow, that's good. And I think we're talking about this initiative, but I think it's really a huge one because when we look at the country on a whole, there's a lot of work in terms of disposal and the fact that you're willing and able to go to persons and meet them where they are. I think that is commendable, and it's really a huge task.
I'm telling you, easy because we still got the whole of St. Kitts to maintain. If you drive on and you see the verges, we cut it. So when we got to go left that, we go there, people will say, by this place, just now the place when high, but then people don't start to walk out by.
Yes.
But the seat that get cut now, so.
Great.
We're going left that, but show people gather and still do that.
Okay.
Well, I commend you for the work that you and your department is doing.
Yeah.
Manners and respect.
Yes. So we are looking at now, let's look at the execution of the cleanup, the format of the cleanup. The cleanup, I know you've mentioned it briefly, but let's look at it specifically. What is it that persons are expected to do, when, where, how?
Okay, so first of all, let me just highlight when the cleanup is expected to take place. So the start for this is Monday the 4th December to Friday the 15th of December. Now each community is expected to receive at least 2 cleans. So for example, if you're accustomed to be collected on, let's say, on a Thursday, you're going to be collected Thursday in the first week, Thursday in the second week. You ask what's the procedure, how is it going to be done? Now, we're encouraging persons to get their waste out on the day of their normal solid waste collection. So whatever the day solid waste comes, that's the day you put your waste out. We're also asking the public not to put the waste that solid waste is not accustomed to take with them in the green and yellow bins, so as we speak. You can put them next to the bin. There's a different truck. Mr. Daniel and his team will be responsible for collecting those wastes. If you're accustomed to get collected twice a week, your collection from our program would be on the second day. So if it is normally Monday and Wednesday would be the day when you're expected to put out those white goods or whatever you want to call them that solid waste doesn't collect. Mr. Daniel made mention of the fact that he might be able to provide some form of assistance, so especially to the elderly persons who might have white goods or stuff in their yard. Mr. Daniel provided his number. He's the person that you can really call. One of the things that we also want to encourage the public to do is that I know the solid waste normally has a collection point. So it's your duty also to get your waste to that collection point. Now, we do not want persons to just put their waste outside in front of their yard, especially those who live on the government main road, especially, we asking that, we know it's in the week, but if you could be a little bit more strategic in terms of how you put out your waste, because, yes, we are collecting, but at the same time, we don't want it to look too unsightly. Imagine driving on the main road and you want to know what's going on in St. Kitts, all of these things on the road. So also, if you live in small alleys and the truck normally stops at the top, it's your responsibility to get your waste to the top. Don't expect Bishop and his team to really come down, So bins also will be placed in communities. The points would be highlighted. I'm not sure if we have the time to go through all the communities and their points now, but just to make aware that bins will be in each community. So for those who live close to the bins, if you can get it to the bin right away, you can do that. If not, the trucks from the parks and beaches will be going around and taking those to the bins as well.
The bins, you mean the big green?
The big green bins.
Okay, the
Correct.
green ones. So folks, look out for the big green bins, because I don't want people to think, they're just going to put extra bins around the place. Oh, okay. So what other department is in collaboration with the Department of Environment as you execute the National Christmas Cleanup?
So, Bishop, you might have to help me here. So I know we have Department of Environment, so you could jump in on that
The whole
one.
department come from, we give thanks to the minister and Honorable Jaya Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the big thing behind this thing.
Okay.
So she got all the ministries.
So you have the environment, the police,
Elevate.
Elevate, and urban development, public works, SWMC. We have the Ministry of Health, Environment. It's a whole.
Wow, it's a lot of views.
It's a big committee.
If I could make a point there.
Yes.
Last year, when we first did the cleanup, Bishen was there on the ground floor, and we can tell you we were overwhelmed with what we discovered. We did not in any way anticipate to find that overwhelming amount of trash being stored. And so we felt it necessary to widen the stakeholders who gave input on how we go about doing it this year. And coming out of these discussions, what we want to stress is a number of things. One, behavioral change. We have to behave differently where waste is concerned. We cannot continue on the path we're on. And that is why Mr. Edmead stressed that it's not an annual thing. What we want to achieve from this round is a clean slate. A clean slate. So please bring out every single thing. If you're thinking about it twice, bring it out. We want a clean slate. They spoke about the cost. We recognize that there is a cost. However, waste is our responsibility. And so the government, by extension, our coalition will not be bearing the cost forever. We are providing this opportunity for you, however, to bring out everything so that you can have a clean slate. Bishen gave you his personal number. That's just a signal of his dedication to the cause, because we want to focus on the Sustainable Island State agenda. We have to be able to manage on our own, and we have to focus on good health and well-being and having sustainable cities. So bring out everything. Environmental health is a part of it because it has an implication for health. We have fogging going on right now, and it is undoubtedly connected to how we manage our waste and how we're storing water in an unhealthy manner.
Yeah.
So we want to stress that as well. Also, I want to put a plug in for parks and beaches. This is not their normal work. It's not their normal work. They're coming off of their duties. And so when you see them coming around, have your water and your malt ready for them.
Yes, indeed.
And it's a time for us to really be frank about what we think about garbage. It's not pretty, and we don't want to handle it. And if these men are willing to take a stand for the country, it needs to be commended, as Azard did, And so I, as well, on behalf of the Minister, Dr. Joy Clark, want to commend the guys for being so willing, because they don't have to. It's not their regular work, and they ought to be commended. Mr. Edmead said something, and I want to extend on it. Those of you who live in the narrow alleys, as he said, you take your bins to a regular collection point. Now, if you get there in the morning at the main area where, let's say, there are 4 yellow top garbage bins or whatever other bin you use for your disposal, and you see someone has a mattress and a fridge there, don't add to it. Go straight to the bin. Go straight to the bin. Bishan gave you his number, or if you have someone in the community who can help you, because we want everyone to be activated, together towards the cause. And it's during a specific time period. It's from the 4th to the 8th. That's the first week. It's not on the weekend. And then the second week, I think it's the 12th to the 15th.
Okay.
Only during those times on your garbage collection day. It's not a free-for-all. And our partners include the Royal St. Kitts Nevis Police Force, who can ticket you and who will ticket you if you bring the waste out on the day that's not your day. How are we going to know? Because it's not your day. It's not your day.
Awesome.
And if you are the only one in your village with garbage out, look out for the police force.
Yes.
Okay.
So give us the lasting words for this segment, what you want to leave with us before we depart.
We want to stress that we have to begin to think about our environmental impact. How are we affecting the environment? How are we affecting St. Kitts? And change. Do better, be better. We can. Big up Dr. Joy Clark.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. And kudos to the Minister for this initiative.
Yes,
so
kudos.
let's get St. Kitts cleaner.
Yes, indeed. As she said, a clean slate. So let's all start on a clean slate.
Awesome, yes.
Stay tuned. We have so much more.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests this morning.
Oh, yes,
but we're going to get through it.
Yeah, we will.
8:32. We've got the monthly wrap-up for Social Security. They do an in-studio wrap-up last Wednesday every month. That's coming up next.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
This is the voice of Erica Edwards. I am inviting you to come on out with your friends and family to a Merry Airy Christmas Concert 2.0. The event will be held at the Ramada Resort at 5 p.m. sharp, featuring Leap Dance Studio, the return of Catwalk coaching SKB, and 12 amazing youth singers backed by the Explosive Band and Roots Band. It's going to be a musical showcase like no other. Purchase your tickets at Latoya's Fashion on Keon Street and Cutesy Accessories on Church Street, Bastille. See you there.
Hey, here's your Hotspot's Value Man idea specials running November 16 to November 29. The more you shop, the more you save. In November, get the double points on meats and produce. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. IG and Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, $8.99. Essential Everyday Grated Parmesan Cheese, $11.99. Essential Everyday Fries, $13.99. Essential Everyday Frozen Vegetables, $5.99. Hot Pockets, $12.99. Essential Everyday Freezer Bags, $8.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. The Cracked Barbecue Sauce, $7.49. Essential Everyday Ketchup, $4.99. IG and Essential Everyday Chocolate Tuna, $3.49. Libby's Vienna Sausage, $2.75. Irish Spring Bar Soap, $12.99. Arm & deodorant, $7.99. Shop smart, shop value mart, and get double points for more rewards today.
Getting sure to be sure of your benefits. Sickness and maternity, I'll tell you about the rest of it. Survivors grant your spouse and kids get the best of it. Let me mention pension when you're 62. When you're done work hard and retire, this is what to do. Listen, this Social Security is working for all your benefits. Funeral grant to help every one of your relatives. Come register for this Social Security. Social Security. So every time you get your pay, Social Security.
And it's time for the monthly wrap-up from Social Security. Good morning, Miss Lawrence.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Lawrence. And in studio, we have with us Miss Lawrence from Social Security, and we also have tea as well. We have green tea without sugar. Would you like a cup?
Of course.
Awesome. I'll pour you a cup.
Sure, certainly. I love tea, so you're right up my alley. Good morning, everybody. This is our last show for the year. We normally end our Social Security programs in November.
Doesn't saying we have December still?
No, because we allow, the festivities and, all those other things to kind of have its place. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be reminding you, just like how you pay for your costume, pay your Social Security contributions. Indeed. Right? So we'll be doing our media drive in that regard, but this is our last face-to-face interaction for the year. It's been a good one, and we've had quite a number of deep discussions related to Social Security. Our last was on the value of Social Security. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to be joined by my colleague in compliance this morning, the manager, Mr. Galloway, to discuss compliance in the new year. So we reflect on where we've been. February was our 45th anniversary. We advise the nation that we are a strong and healthy fund with reserves of over 1.7 billion, but we are a mature fund. And as you age, you recognize the bones don't bend as easily. I'm realizing that. So with Social Security, at 30 is you're ripe, but at 45 is maturity. And Social Security systems are designed to work effectively for 30-year periods because we consider the demographics of the economy, birth rate, and so on, death rate. And in St. Kitts, we have an aging population. Far more persons are heading into pensionable age and living longer. And we have a really serious decrease in birth rate. Our parents got 4 and so some of us around here saying none for us.
Or just one.
Or just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we've made our contribution to mankind, and that's it. And that has a serious impact on Social Security. So as we head into 2024, lots more discussion would be had on the topic of reform. And we're encouraging the public to keep us accountable, ask us those hard questions. We'll be going around into the various communities. We're having corporate meetings, church groups, etc., to make sure that persons understand what Social Security is and what could be if we make no changes to our fund. Around the world, already for the year, we've seen some example of if the communication is not clear, what could happen. Mm-hmm. Paris had riots in our communities nearby, our neighboring islands. Some people just follow the Prime Minister around saying with placards, "Where is my pension?" That is not going to happen in St. Kitts Nevis. A matter of fact, in February, we had our stakeholders breakfast meeting, and the Prime Minister said, the can has been kicked along the road long enough. Mm-hmm. It's in front of me, and I am going to take it up. See, I get me goosebumps.
Ooh.
Look, you see them?
I see them.
Good.
And you even had your tea yet.
Let me sip to that.
Nice.
And so with that said, that is his affirmation that it's time to take strategic action.
Yep.
Because we don't want that after our forefathers would have built a solid fund, us with even more technology, awareness, and all that's available to our disposal, miss it and fumble it. So we have a responsibility to carry it to the next 40 years, which would mean our generation of receiving a pension.
Yep.
And it means our children wouldn't have to work 3 times as hard to ensure that we get our pension. So in the new year, lots more discussions on that. And just on the heels of that, compliance must follow in order for our Social Security fund to stay viable. So we collect income via 3 means: investment, let's say 2, investment and contributions from employers and the self-employed, right? And so we have to manage all those systems in order to be able to meet our obligations. Last year alone, 130 million was paid out in benefits. You hear that?
It's a lot.
A lot. Collections last year wasn't 100 million. And so, we're coming off of a COVID experience, and outside of our regular duty, Social Security provided COVID relief, which benefited lots of us, right? And 25 million was expended on that project, and that has nothing to do with Social Security benefits. Alarming?
Very, because I'm wondering now, Camilla, how do you make back the money that you would have lost? And for the persons that should pay security that are not, how are they held accountable to ensure that they pay what is due to the board?
Good. No, Social Security is balanced, give and take, give and take. In some cases, we have people who will claim many times, and they have people who wouldn't claim at all.
Okay.
So one branch, especially for that COVID relief, we were able to use funds from a specific branch of benefits to take care of that dent that the world felt.
Yes.
Right? So we're not concerned about making back that, but we're concerned about keeping the fund in a flexible, viable state so that it can do what it's intended to do.
Okay.
And compliance, as you say, is a major part. So we've been publishing via our website the names of delinquent employers. So if you want to see if your employer is there, you just log on to socialsecurity.kn monthly. You would see the court judgments and what would have happened in court. As we go into the new year, we need to be focused on new ways of getting to people, because we realize that we have a informal sector, meaning more persons are getting into self-employed work and they're not keeping their obligations to Social Security. It's hard for us to police them because there's not a self-employed corner or arena that we could go and see all of them. A matter of fact,
but shouldn't they be registered?
They should be registered.
Okay.
And we don't have a registration problem.
Okay.
They register because they see the value initially, but they wean off, and then guess when they define us?
When they're sick or when they need the benefits?
when December come and they want duty-free concessions for their businesses, they come and they're willing to pay up for the entire year with fines. Sometimes they want us to go back 10 years for them to be able to qualify for a pension. You don't know the theatrics, right?
That's
and
rough.
so that is why we continue this education drive. I don't think anyone can say Social Security falls short of informing.
Yep.
We are on all the media platforms. We're on radio. We're on TV. We do a lot of outside engagements. Last night I was at the Sandy Point Methodist Church and I left there after 9. So we go out. We go to church Sunday mornings. So some services have invited us during their worship to speak to their congregants because they recognize the importance of coverage. So as we enter the new year, we got to be more stringent. We got to put on we policeman hat and be the inspectors that we're supposed to be. We're going to hold people accountable because we want the public to hold us accountable.
Yes.
So Mr. Galloway will share a bit of some of the new techniques that we'll be employing and some of the critical changes that will take place January.
Okay, thank you. First, I'd like to say season's greetings to the listening public and viewing public, especially the contributing public.
Don't make anybody feel left out.
As my colleague mentioned, that is what we are about.
Yes.
I'm going to say it straight. It can't be business as usual no more. The fund is ours, the working class, and one day we will turn 62. And I'm not there yet, but I'm already losing some here, so I know it will come. And there must be something left for us.
Yes.
So we should have to do what we have to do to ensure that this fund is sustainable.
Okay. Ms. Lawrence mentioned just now that for employees that don't pay. So I'm employed. My employer does not pay. I get sick. Can I claim?
Yes, you can claim. The process will be delayed, of course, because it requires us now to go to your employer. And, sometimes people say, but you should have known. Remember, there's 120 of us over there, meaning St. Kitts and Nevis, right? And we are taking care of a workforce of over 25,000 active workers. So we're not going to see everything immediately, but persons have a responsibility to themselves to check on their contribution status.
Okay.
And I like to say it a lot. Just like how you check on people WhatsApp status,
Yes.
mind your social security status.
Business, yeah.
Yes.
Mind your social security business.
Yes.
Yeah, and she rightfully says status indeed, because
That's a very good point.
why should I have to wait and I'm sick now when I don't have any money?
Yeah.
That's sickening.
And a lot of employers, and now with COVID shows a different level of technique, like undermindedness and so on, because people are desperate for work.
Yes.
So they come back in the workforce accepting less than they were paid before, and also an employer who says, well, if you want this job, we ain't paying no social.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they take it because they have obligations. They have children. They have obligations to whomsoever. And then when something happens and they come to us, we got to start from zero to help to bring it up. We are not supposed to do it. The law says if the contribution ain't there, we can't pay.
Yes.
Right? But somewhere along we say, Lord, let me help the person and then go after the employer.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the employers report, let's say you have 10 people, they report 4.
Yeah.
Let's say you work for $10, they report $3.
Yes.
So their contributions will be less.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why it is important that employees hold their employers accountable.
Indeed.
Come to the Social Security, check your contribution statements, ask for contribution statements. The first one is free. Because as compliance manager, I've saw some disheartening things. For instance, one person might turn 62 and they are expecting a pension. I guess they thought that their employer, what have you, would have been paying. But when you come at 62, it makes it so hard now, because suppose that employer or the employees in the past has traveled, has migrated, has deceased. It's so difficult.
Yes.
It's so difficult, and I hate when that happens.
And I can tell you, there's also celebration at Social Security. We have a literal vault.
Mm-hmm.
And those persons whose records were not in our database, you don't want to see the staff down there with a magnifying glass trying to find one additional contribution for somebody to get a pension. Because if you have $4.99, you're disqualified. You need $500.
So could someone pay that contribution if it is not found?
No.
Oh boy, that's rough. Wow.
So while we're living and working, to the Father we shall pray, and make sure that
check your stats.
mind your Social Security business.
It's a must.
And
So
you,
if you get calls now and say, "Can I just check in on my status?"
I don't get them all the time. Your mother called me
I
yesterday.
know. Your number. Questions, I say, I got the right person.
So you see, business partners turned family.
Yes.
Cash card, Cam, blah, 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 blah. I said, wait, who this?
Another issue I've faced this year too, and I'm speaking to the construction industry. There are something that we do called scouting, where we traverse the island and we visit construction sites and what have you. And you know, as inspectors by law, we are charged with entering any construction site, any workplace at a reasonable time. But I find that some of the employees, especially if the contractor or the manager is not present, they somewhat protect the employer. I would ask, good afternoon, my name is such and such, I represent such and such, I show my badge, everything. Who's the might I ask who's the contractor? We ain't got a contractor. May not he name he got to come back. I don't get but like, it's always something. And guess what happens? These construction sites are high-risk sites.
Yep.
What if an unforeseen thing happen where you fall off a ladder? Who you gonna come to?
Social.
And it
Well,
happens.
that's the first place people get to.
It happens.
The very next day after an incident.
Yeah.
And I just want to, you see, when we have this discussion, it's not to just highlight the bad things, because we do good work. We do great work. There's so many testimonies. I like to share a particular one of he was either 18 or 19, and he had just begun to work. He got injured while working, and now he's paralyzed. All of our contributions, and that's 14 years ago. 16 to about 18, 2 years contribution, but all of us who are working is helping to take care of him. We don't know when that would be our situation. I could leave here and something happened to me and I'm not able to. What if I didn't have any coverage?
Yeah.
And we see that a lot in the self-employed. Some of them are so successful, they have employees and they pay for their employees, but they don't pay for themselves. And then
maybe they have a pension somewhere else.
A pension is nothing. You need that guarantee, because pension comes in when you reach a certain age. Social Security covers life contingencies. So if you're sick, unable to work, to be able to support that business and the employees, you have that. You have that assurance. You have a baby, you have that. You should die and leave a spouse, you have survivors. So there are multiple benefits outside of a one-time monthly pension when you get to a certain age. So we must consider, we're not going to be young and
spunky forever.
Oh, me ain't accepting that, but my body doesn't start to feel it.
Yep.
The joints.
Your knees.
Yep.
And so on, you want to know, wait, them is grey here, boy?
Yep.
What you think I came here later, wake up with some back pain and some of it done with
Just yesterday we were talking about on our weekly dose about the age and saying after 40 you got so much checkup to do.
Yep. Plenty.
Yes.
40 is definitely not the new 20.
Don't subscribe to that.
She's not going to
And
subscribe to
don't
that.
subscribe to that.
No.
But the point remains, Social Security is critical. It's viable. Our society is totally built on contributions of Social Security.
Yes.
And we're not just talking benefits. We make tangible corporate responsibility investments annually. We support healthcare, $270,000 a year. We support national security, $135,000 a year. We support education. We have a scholarship fund from 1983 to present. That was our independence gift to the nation. Over $2 million invested in that taking care of one student from each high school, from first form to sixth form, and some even into university. Some now have full-time placement with us, being managers, lawyers, etc. to our organization. So we see the value of investing in people, but we want you to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself so we could have a strong social security fund. We're not fumbling, we're not in any distress at all. But come January, in compliance, one of the things we're changing is that you can no longer give the inspector your check or your money. Right? There are certain protocols we have to follow to ensure the safety of our officers and for the business as well. So we'd not be taking checks and so on. We provide a different avenue to do so. So in the new year, we'll be speaking more about that. Another thing, we'll be heightening that compliance. So you'll be seeing us more throughout your communities, even after always come ask you a question, if they're paying. Have you checked?
Have you mind your business?
Recently there was such a disheartening story, and maybe, but I want to share it because I want people to see that there are people out there who you work for who don't see the value in you.
Yep.
Right? They're working, they're paying you. Sometimes you present your social security card and them dismissing you all the time. I'm going to take it. That's a red flag, and it's not carnival yet.
Indeed. Not you.
Right? It's a red flag. They don't give you any pay slips. That's another red flag. Because it means when you come down to social and you say, but wait, are you working? We had a case, a young lady, very pregnant, very, very pregnant, came and she said, here is my proof that I've been sending my employer. She showed me on her phone. I've been sending him my social security card and so on. After I start to ask him questions, he gave me less days. He ended up giving me 1 day. In the end, he said, here, take this money. This is what social would have paid you for your benefit. And because she is aware, she came right to Social Security. So we were able to move on it immediately. Now that young lady is home for the next 3 months and then going back till January. What if she had taken a little bit of
monies?
Because it's not just the money, but it's actually the benefits that Social Security would give.
Because her name in the system just 1 day.
Yeah, she was wise enough to know that.
And she working with the person over a year. Right?
Yes.
So I'm sharing this so we could understand.
But at least she was wise enough to know that it's not just about the money.
Good, because we wouldn't have had any record that she was with that employer. Her name was not listed with that employer. So it's important that you mind your social security business.
I want to ask the compliance manager. So for employer like that, can you take them to court? What stages do you go through to get what Social Security deserves and their employees deserve?
Sure, we have a legal arm that we support as well as far as delinquent employers. But before we reach to our legal arm, what we try to do is reach out to this employer. We will outline the law, of course, and if they have a heart, we give them some time. Come in, let's negotiate, let's talk. There are payment plans that we administer, but you must follow these plans. If you default and you default again, then I have no choice but to transfer you to our legal arm.
And when I look at the list at court, Social Security is very active.
I'm telling you.
And we want to be so active over there now.
We want to help, we want to work with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we call, we want to negotiate, because the importance that we have an obligation to collect contributions so that the fund is sustainable. And that is what we are going to do.
Precisely.
And for the young people that are coming up, are they aware of this, that it's important to register at Social Security as early as possible? And how early can one register?
Okay. Well, annually we complete a education drive specifically for schools.
Okay.
So we go to the primary schools, we do role play, we do high schools, and we go to the colleges as well. Some business classes invite us and so on. So we ain't no stranger.
Okay.
Right? No, so to register, and as the season is approaching, many young persons will be seeking Christmas jobs and so on. No, some employers like to say, here, money ain't a wage, it's a stipend.
Yeah.
It's a wage. If you are working, You are obligated to come in by a certain time, use the company's tools and all of that. You are working. That's another thing we're seeing too. A lot of businesses are saying, you're self-employed, but you have to come to my workplace and only do work for me from such and such time to such and such time. It's wrong.
You're not self-employed. If you're on their time, you're using their resources.
And you can't work for me and you and everybody at the same time, you're not self-employed.
So they're using the scope to say that you're perhaps on a contract.
On a contract.
Independent of yourself.
Yes. Right? So to register, you need your passport, birth certificate, and a job letter. You can't just shop and say, I want a number. You need a job letter because we need to tell you to an employer, and you need your identification.
And if you are an independent contractor, meaning that you work for yourself, then you should have the necessary qualifications such as a business license, everything to prove that.
Yes. Yes, as a self-employed. We see a lot of things.
I could imagine.
Yeah, and I'm learning a lot of things this morning because I didn't know that. If you're a contractor, you have to have your own business license?
No, when I say contractor in the sense that it's just a term. An independent contractor is someone who is not an employee of an employer. You're providing your own service to persons. So let's say I am a chef, but I'm not employed at a specific establishment. I provide chef services to a number of individuals.
Correct.
I am my own boss, and I'm providing you
with a service.
Yes.
So you are considered self-employed. But I'm glad we reached that part of the topic, because there are some self-employed persons who have mentioned that, I work in the hills, I work far, it is hard for me to come into the office. I can't do it. That's why my payments are always behind. Well, we have heard your cries, we have listened, and management in their wisdom decided to give our website payment capabilities.
Okay, good stuff.
And I think the contributing community would really appreciate this.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're sitting down and you're looking at Netflix, when it's time to pay Netflix, make sure you pay your social security. Okay?
And when you're paying them costumes, things.
Why you gotta go on people's costumes?
Don't forget your social security.
We are tired of being last. We can't go on.
I'm tired of being like that.
And we should not.
Priorities.
Yes.
The people gonna come for you because they're gonna say this is all the money we have for our costume. Social could wait till January.
Just give me. Give me my cuts. And you're going to be all right, because you know what? January to March, wow, we have an influx of sick leave. People sick, full of flu. Right? Where you pay your social.
I was waiting for January. Wow. Yep.
I know my face don't hide you there.
Wow.
Yeah, really?
It's a pity we don't know what the flow is going to be called yet. Yeah? Which song is going to get the name?
Pressure?
Pressure.
Lord, I must have want it.
None of that.
Nothing happy about the flow in January, that's for sure. So it's certainly not going to be called happy.
It's a wonderful time we had this morning. We have to wind down because we have another segment at 9. We have the farm report, but we want to say thank you so much for coming.
And don't forget, we have to wish her a happy birthday because she's celebrating until January 2nd.
Yes.
So happy birthday and happy. I wouldn't say the rest because I don't want anybody to guess your age, but welcome to this new decade.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I love it over here.
But only you guys know only royalty celebrates their birthdays for a month, right? So
a royalty right here.
Yeah, exactly.
She's more than royalty. So she
exactly.
So thank you guys. Remember, employers, pay your contributions in full and on time. And where you're struggling, come in and have a conversation with us. Self-employed, you have a responsibility to pay for yourself. One day you won't be able to do all the things you do now, and you need that assurance of Social Security. And employees, check your Social Security status.
Hold your employer accountable.
Correct.
As we strive for social justice, thank you for having me and my colleague. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much. Yes. Mind your Social Security business, guys.
Getting sure to be sure of your benefits. Sickness and maternity, I'll tell you about the rest of it. Survivors grant your spouse and kids get the best of it. Let me mention pension when you're 62. When you're done work hard and retire, this is what to do. Listen, this social security is working for all your benefits. Funeral grant to help every one of your relatives.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Just in time for Christmas from the Bank of Nevis. 100% financing for your next new car, SUV, truck, or other vehicle. The Bank of Nevis is offering 100% financing with no down payment. 7 years to complete your payments, starting 1 month after your fast track approval. The first year of insurance and all processing fees can also be included. And you get $250 worth of free gas. This package comes with one of the most competitive interest rates in the market. Visit the nearest branch of the Bank of Nevis in Charlestown and 4th Street and Wellington Road, Basse-Terre today. This great offer of 100% financing for your next new vehicle ends on December 31st.
Terms and conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Funny, put on your hat. Yes. No, you're not going outside, okay? Yeah. Funny. Enjoy. All right. Sugar City Master.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of now the jingle bell hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in jingle bell swing. In the frosty air. What a bright time, what a right to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle all, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in jingling beat. That's the jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell rock. Snowing and blowing and bushel of
5 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we're having a little fun with the late Kenrick Georges and the bits and pieces after the Christmas dance medley. We haven't seen anyone from Farm Report yet.
Guess the guys are reaping. They have nothing to report today. What do you think?
Well, I guess we can talk in the meantime.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
can.
We certainly can.
Haven't seen anything.
Sweet peppers are back in colors. Oh my God!
Yellow.
All colors, and they're bright. Shucks!
mean
Let me
and
talk about
local
sweet peppers. I need to
domestic
take some
sweet
money
pep-
across the road for the lady. I
and you
forgot
mean-
to take it back yesterday, so I'm gonna take it when I'm done working.
And you mean domestic sweet pepper?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But tomatoes, let's need some tomatoes now.
And the cucumbers are back too. You can tell the difference. My gosh.
Yeah.
The crops are looking good. So kudos to the farmers.
Wait,
and
are you talking about your yard?
Not my yard. No. Remember, I
Okay.
have the vendors. I have the pleasure of
Oh,
having
right
the
there,
vendors
right
right
there,
there.
right there.
Yes. So they had a lot of things yesterday. So
Awesome.
So what do you want to talk about? The earthquakes that has been happening. You see, Barbados had a 5.4, and it extended. Well, the earthquake. I don't know if it's Barbados that have it, but it extended to Barbados, St. Vincent, and St. Lucia.
Oh wow. Yeah, they had earthquake near Barbados, also felt in St. Vincent.
And Lucia. And then we know there was a 5.6 that Jamaica had in, no, 5.2 they had in September. They had a 5.6 in October. And now they had a 4.2 in November. So each month they have been having an earthquake.
Very interesting.
Boy.
Wow, yeah. Just hope that, everything remains calm.
Yeah, like the other day when I heard they were putting in the devices at Date Bay for us, I was like, Lord Jesus, nothing right now. But at least we have the devices should anything happen, so we will be alert that we're having a earthquake.
On a positive note, in the Caribbean, Grenada, based on Loop News, it says that Grenada records decline in the rate of unemployment.
I saw that, yes. So that's good.
So it says the results of the labor force survey in Grenada indicate that Grenada that has undertaken for the quarter ended 30th June 2023, it has revealed that the unemployment rate was 12%, which was a decline from the 16.6% as recorded for the quarter ended June 2021 and 28.4% recorded in June 2022. So in June 2022, it was at 28%. June 2021, 16%. And now, as of June 30th, 2023, it went down to 12%. So you're seeing a steady decline in the rate of unemployment. Which is really good. I don't know if we have our own stats in St. Kitts and Nevis. It would be interesting to see those, to know the statistics for St. Kitts and Nevis.
But I looked at the country with the highest salaries since we're on countries, and our country is nowhere in there. It is Barbados, it is Antigua, and then it's Jamaica. And St. Vincent tops the chart coming last. Yeah, Jamaica's number 3. I call them in the order. Yeah, the article literally said that. Literally, I know you're flabbergasted too, right? I was shocked. Jamaica.
I have to see that article. Okay, but I'm not doubting you. But
listen, I was shocked out of my boots yesterday. I was like, Jamaica? So just like you, yeah. So it's Barbados, Antigua, and Jamaica.
The salary thing, you mean?
Yeah.
The doubling of the salary, 100%.
No, the best, the countries that pays the highest salaries.
Jamaica?
Jamaica's number 3, yes. Antigua's number 2. I was actually shocked by Antigua being number 2 too. And
is it the private sector? Is it based on the private sector?
Yeah, it's based on the private sector.
Okay.
That's what
because it's factories and stuff. Yeah.
That's what the Barbados article had said when they talked about the salaries.
Maybe Jamaica, because I'm thinking maybe the private sector is doing well in there, and so it would pay higher than government, and so maybe that is where you see from a private sector standpoint. And then, interesting. I'll have to look at the article. I'm wondering, is it they're comparing between countries?
It seems that way because, as I said,
not on the list.
No, at all, nowhere. Not even second to last or anywhere. I'm not saying we're second to last, but nowhere.
Maybe we have.
St. Vincent is gets the ultimate last because their percentage is 73.3. That's how bad their salary is. Barbados is.
Like I could understand Barbados because I'm thinking Barbados gets paid. Bajans get paid well, but then they're taxed a lot. So at least for if you have a high salary and then it's taxed, at least when you compare it and when you leave and go home with, maybe it will be comparable at the end of the day. At least you have something.
Nice.
But I don't know. Jamaica surprised me.
No.
I really have to read that article.
I saw. I think I sent it in the chat,
Yeah,
but I'm going to send it to
I
you
never
again.
got a chance to read it.
J.A., the great.
We are graced with the presence of Meshach. So our farm report starting late, but better late than never.
Yes.
Azard, could you give him 3? 3?
Yes.
3. Yeah.
There you go.
That one sounds better.
And Meshach, we have tea in studio. We have green tea without sugar. And so if you want to partake, this is the jug. I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't drink anything he doesn't grow.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking maybe you should bring some bush in here.
Next time, he knows to bring some with him.
Good morning. So, Mishak, yes, you are a member of the consortium. You're president, right?
Yes, I'm president.
So tell us, tell us what is on the mind of the consortium this morning.
All right. Well, as usual, the consortium family continues to meet on a regular basis. The leadership core team meets at least once every week, and we are purporting to have a general meeting on the 6th of December, which is next week, Wednesday. We have come a good distance from where we started in the beginning to engaging with stakeholders and partners of all rank and level. Today, my mind, I want to reflect more on some of the meetings we've had and to answer a pivotal or critical question that was asked in our last leadership meeting. What have we accomplished to date in terms of our engagement with the Ministry of Agriculture and other partners and stakeholders in the field? But before I do that, I want to touch on Charlie Flanders. I want to say profound thanks to him who have held up this show for some time now. In my absence and the absence of some of the leadership, he has stuck out here as a voice in the farming community and for our organization. So I want to give him all the praise possible in that regard. I should be joined shortly by another friend and colleague and leader in the consortium, and hopefully he arrives just shortly. Of course, we're coming straight from the farm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is
from the farm to the table.
Yeah. So we actually were in discussions up to last night about that tipping point or turning point, which we must now take. So when we came here initially, as our leadership sat in this room, we discussed with you our focus areas as an organization. It was lobbying, networking, and advocating. This platform allows us to do the advocating a lot in terms of having our voice out there and being part of the narrative and the discussion in order to begin to change mindsets as it relates to the issues of agriculture. You can hear it from the farmer's mouth, him or herself. We've been doing a good bit of that. We've also been doing a good number of lobbying. We've sat with the rank and file in the Ministry of Agriculture and the government. We've also met with marketing persons. We've met with also the market persons, including a number of supermarkets here on the island. And so we would like to discuss some of those things today as well. In addition to that, we can also touch on what we're looking forward to do in the first quarter of 2024 and why we're taking such an approach. We could also touch a little bit on our planting program as well as to where we are in terms of the successes of it and what we see happening with us as a group in the latter part of 2024. All right, so I want to welcome Esmond Henderson. He's also a senior farmer and a leader in the consortium as well.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mm-hmm. Good morning. So you have joined us. You have joined the president of the consortium. Esmond, tell us your take, and he has opened the floor already.
Okay. Once again, I want to say thank you for having us this morning. And I continue to be amazed over the year gone by with the amount of content that we're able to have to provide to the farming community. And so I want to say thanks again this morning to Mr. Flanders, who's been doing an excellent job for us. And this is our way of rewarding him. He's a farmer as well, and a serious farmer as well, and has to be on his farm at some point. So it is only fitting that sometimes we fit in and carry some of the load for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now this morning, I want to just quickly, since we have the president here with us this morning, I want to quickly pivot back to how the consortium, how the concept all started, And it was around 2017, 2018 that Mishak and I started having conversation as to the state of agriculture in St. Kitts. And this was way before the consortium was conceptualized. And we would go back and forth as to what it would look like, who we wanted to engage. At one point, we had set a meeting for WINNMedia so that we could have our message out. And sorry for the disruption. And so at that time, we were just trying to see, how we could improve on the landscape of the agriculture sector in St. Kitts. Around 2020, I had a call from Calvin Percival, who and myself was having a bit of difficult relationship. And he said to me, we have to put our differences aside and we have to begin to work for a common good. Immediately, I reached out to Mishak, Flanders, and we started having meetings in the Sandy Point area. And of course, this was in the previous administration, so those meetings were held in secret or in private. And so, once we got there, it was myself, it was Mishak, it was Bryden Booty, it was Troy Flanders, Calvin Percival, Lionel Stevens, I think it was Clayton Powell, Dion Weeks. And so we started meeting. And one of the things that caught our attention, because we all had our notepads and we took notes, and once we came back to those meetings, the thing that kept standing out and stood out then was the fact that Mishak was one of the persons who was always able to harmonize the information and to begin to make the information make sense. And so instead of going back over the same things, we were able to begin to build on what we were saying and the concepts that was brought forth. And so when the time came for us to cast our lots to determine or decide who we wanted to lead the organization, it was very, very, very easy for us to cast our lots and our expertise and our service behind who we now call today the president of the organization. And I'm saying all that to say that sometimes we have leaders among us. Sometimes we have the persons among us. But until we come together, until we start having conversation, and that is why I'm saying, and I'm in the same breath, I am encouraging our young farmers to come together and let us begin to rally around a common cause. For some time ago, one of the things, one of the narratives that was in the media was that farmers are unable to come together. Farmers are unable to work together. We need to unify and come together. And this thrust here from the consortium is for that very purpose, for us to come together and to begin to work together. So I just thought this morning I would throw that out so that those persons who are wavering, those persons who are in the farming community, who are wondering how we got where we are, in a brief snippet, that is how we were able to arrive at this place, at this position.
And just to add to that a little bit, when you're in a group and you're discussing things for a long time, it could always become like an echo chamber. So one of the things we try to do to prevent that from happening, to avert any negative feedback or positive feedback mechanisms or looping, what we ended up had to do is to engage other farmers and non-farmers too who are experts in their own fields and so on, whether you're economists, project management persons, finance persons and so on, and even legal and trade policy persons. Because again, we might have our own idea and thinking on a matter, but that is just as limited as you can get if you stay there. And so we reach out as far as possible to who we can. We had some farming enthusiasts who had joined us, computer technicians, everybody have come in to try to see how we can put this new animal together. And to date, you have to give great commendation to those persons. From that point as well, we would have had to engage with other farmers, persons who are doing it at different levels, understanding the scope at play with different levels of farmers in the community. Some are doing some 2 to 5 acres, some are doing 10, some are doing 20 and above. All right, and so their needs and their outlook will be fundamentally different and so on. And so we took time not just to converse with each other, but to also engage with other farmers and to invite them in. We also would have gone through different iterations of the leadership. It would have been a traditional style, group formation and structure. But with time, you recognize that persons should be able to share in on the decision making more, especially if you're a member of a co-op or you're a president of a cooperative society. You should sit in not just as an ordinary floor member, but you could sit in as part of the leadership of the organization. And that is why we have so many co-op members who are sitting with us at this time. And so we sit and we have frank discourse, frank discussions about the way forward. All right, and when you're in those rooms, in that room, wherever we are, is a level playing field, clear cut, straight to the point, and also sometimes we have those long debates and so on, and differences and so on is very much welcome. But one of the things that we would say with some of the differences we had, we have not wavered in terms of the outlook. Mm-hmm. And the outlook is very clear, the vision is very clear. We transform agricultural sector for the benefit of all. All right, and so once we are able to chime in on the national conversation, we believe that we can bring some real value to what is ahead. All right. Today, I want to touch on engagement, but also I want to make it a little bit specific. We've started our conversations from as long as back as 2021, 2022 early with the Ministry of Agriculture. And government is continuous. The ministry is continuous. So we've had conversations dating back as far as late 2021. Mm-hmm. To date, question was asked last night, what have we accomplished? Not last night, Monday night. Monday night. And, that's a question that stumped everybody in the room. Because yes, we are advocating, yes, we are pushing, yes, we are seeing some movements in some areas. But in terms of what we ultimately wanted to do, in terms of collaborating closer with the ministry and other partners, it is still a far cry from happening. In fact, we've met more than, I have my books with me just in case somebody was to call me and ask me how much meeting I have the evidence. We've met on at least 6 or so occasions with ministry officials. And the complaint has still been the same. Where are the minutes? Where are the notes from the meeting? Where are the documents, the plans that you're speaking of? Can you share those with us? Because in order for us to really participate and get involved, we must have access to information. Right. And so we've been asking for these things on a continuous basis. We've been living up to our end of the bargain. In fact, because we wanted so much to support the 25 by 2025, we decided, let's start our own program in support of that. So our group, let us decide what we can do. And we identified 6 of the 14 crops that were identified by the ministry and launched sometime back in July. We pioneered the actual implementation of this. And so we started on 22nd of September is when we made a decision in a general meeting. And since then, we've been planting our crops, our peppers and so on, in sequence, which will supposed to go on for about another 5 months or so, 4 months or so of planting, continuous planting every 3 to 4 weeks. We started that process in support of the 25 by 2025. We've also sent on our information, who the farmers are, where they are located, their contact information, what is it they're growing. The sequencing, we've sent that on to the Ministry of Agriculture. We've sat in meetings with the Director of Agriculture and et al. To discuss what needs to happen, what can we do further, and how can they support what we are doing as well. So we've had a number of meetings, I tell you. We've gone morning, noon, and night for meetings, even though you know that can be a very difficult thing for farmers to do, especially in the middle of the day.
Yes.
And so when I listen to persons sometimes as they make mention of what is it you're doing for yourselves, or what are you doing to actually aid and better yourself, we are not only looking at our own personal farms. We are looking at the sector on a whole. We want to see the policies improved. We want to see the farmer having a voice, having a seat at the table for decision making. There are a number of projects that are on and will be rolled out in the near future. Farmers should have a say in the design of those because they are the ones who stand to be impacted or affected by those same projects. The success of these programs rests on the farming community. They are the delivery agents. And so once we are not going to involve them in a wholesome way, in a real way, once we are going to continue to resort to titular methods, we are going to have some problems, and we're asking that let us work alongside each other and with each other.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to engage you for a minute, Mishak, because recently there were 3 consultation meetings at the department, and the department, in their defense, would say that they're consulting farmers. I mean, what is your take on what has been happening there?
If you can recall, Azard, several months ago, I think it's around July, when they're leading up to the launch, they would have indicated that they have consulted with farmers and so on.
Yes.
We pushed back. Remember, we pushed back and we said, there has been no engagement. How is it possible that you will engage the farming community and miss 120 persons? Right? What kind of selection process you went through to identify who you engage with? Some of the largest farmers are within the consortium, and none of them were consulted on this 25 by 25.
I remember when the minister was here, he said that the consortium is just a few persons.
Right. Yes, I hope you remember that. And it's on record. Yes. It's on record. The point is that once we began our work on the radio, and we intensified it, especially after we put together the planting program, you saw movements, meetings start happening and so on. This is important for us being out here and our voice being out here. So these meetings were called. You say consultation, but these meetings were called. And my experience, and I've listened to the experiences of others, that's why I made sure I went to District 3 meeting. It's a presentation by the PS, and maybe an officer or 2 will present on the overall plan. You have to say what you think and so on about it and things. The consultations, you're supposed to be allowed to ask questions and get legitimate answers and so on. And I had some problems with the presentation. I indicated that we are in support of the 25 by 2025, but we must know how we can truly contribute and be a part of it. A lot of the initiatives that they put forward, they're still working out things. You're asking persons, for instance, to begin to produce more, double down on production, but yet the storage facilities are to be approved or to be constructed next year, right? For we have 4-month cycle crops. So you're already increasing production, but the facilities are not yet in play. When you ask questions about what is happening in year 1, year 2, year 3, there's no that is to be worked out. But all farmers just say what you want to grow, and we'll go on it. All right. Again, when you're in rooms like those, and you put into the equation giveaways, right? You distort the entire conversation or dialogue that must be had, because you can't say in one vein that the farming is a business, agriculture is a business. But when business questions are being asked, like how does this thing work? What is the criteria when we want to apply or seek assistance from the programs that they have on board? There is a dearth of information there. If we are going to be on the plan, for example, a plan is presented there in a PowerPoint, but we've been asking for months for a copy of the plan itself. again, who's going to carry out this thing, right? And so what we are saying now is we're seeing a serious gap there, imbalance in terms of information and partnership and so on as it relates. So when we look at those meetings, and I can't keep calling them meetings because consultations mean that you will be taking notes and documenting what persons have to say, the input, the recommendation. These are meetings more like lectures, in my view, right? And I don't think those things suffice. But I'm happy that they decided to keep the meetings. Questions. You're asking the questions, but are you going to get real answers? That's a difference, you know what I mean?
Yes.
To the end? Oh, boy.
Okay, well, touch a bit, Mishak, and the experience that you've had with the market and the marketing lady. And I want to say too, quickly, that the marketing lady, in my view, listening to you, has been doing an exceptional job. And I don't want to go for her and leave her superiors. But in this case, I'm saying I think she has gone beyond so far, you know, to do things that is type of out of her reach in terms of what was it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Miss White with the marketing unit of agriculture has really started to work with us as farmers. I think one of the bright spark in the department at this time as it relates to the relationship. She would have engaged me about meetings with the market. We met a number of supermarkets that she really put together on the agenda. She just coordinated everything. The important thing to note here about those meetings is that is the surprise or how welcoming these persons were, the Rams, the different IG Hasfords and all these persons, is that they're saying they're happy to have the farming community represented in the meetings. Right. In fact, they have said and indicated clearly that they are willing to take the local produce. They have identified and made recommendations, even when we had a crop that they didn't really too particular about, but they have indicated for the greater majority that we will take these crops as long as they are available and so on. In fact, I want to go further, that they have even placed it on the ministry to begin to put things in place to make sure that you're facilitating and in some cases admonish that the government doesn't seek to own every aspect of the value chain as it relates to agriculture, right? And that those things were imperative for me to hear and listen to, because then we have been saying same things from the beginning and inception of the organization. Now, there's also an added thing to it. I mean, IG, for example, would express interest in partnering with us on a particular event, which we'll follow up with them on in terms of promoting the farmers and their produce and so on. There's also discussion about the signing of contract. I asked the minister that question directly in the last meeting, to which he said he will. Now, that's an important gesture and step to make. We're hoping that they would follow up and sign that contract so that allow farmers to be able to access RAMs and others with better ease. Right. Just before we go though, I recognize we are out of time. I just want to put it out there that we have our general meeting next week, December the 6th. All right, December the 6th. And in that meeting, we will have some key resource persons who will be joining us. Marketing lady is one of them, trying to bridge that relationship between the farmers and the marketing unit. We also will have a guest person from out of TDC who is accustomed to dealing with a lot of the inputs, the fertilizers and the different chemicals, and they share some knowledge about them and let people understand what is available. So those things will happen. But also too, we will begin to share our plan to pivot for the next year in terms of our capacity development program, our training in soil fertility and plant nutrition. And those things will be coming on board as we move forward to the next planting season we are prepping. And we should also have an allied agency representative there to begin to help us with our roadmap for the consortium for the next 3 years or so. So we're inviting all members, and we're inviting them to invite other farmers to our general meeting. I'll see you there next week.
Okay, awesome. Really wonderful. I want to thank you guys for coming here this morning and every Thursday to give a report on what the farm Every Wednesday, yes, that is happening with the consortium and the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
And guys, remember, you guys came a little late, so
Right.
I feel a little bad. I didn't realize I gave you guys an extra 5 minutes. right? Technically it's 6 minutes, but okay. So I'll see you guys next week, and we can
Continue.
where we left off. All
Okay.
right.
Yes.
9:36.
We have another segment.
So it was March. And
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum and when me have in a me hand there. Give her a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Hey kids, drink healthy. Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors. Drink the more healthy way. It tastes so yummy, chubby. 25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy. Drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun. It's chubby. Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed. It tastes so yummy, chubby. 25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun. It tastes so yummy, chubby. Drink the more healthy way.
Brown skin girl.
Just reflow again.
9:39. The Tucker Clark Primary School, they just wrapped the literacy week. We've got the principal and the teacher from the school, and they're going to tell us all about the literacy week, because that's something we can always have more of. Right, Paige? Morning.
Good morning, folks.
Yes,
Welcome.
good morning. Welcome so much. I know we had Mr. Harris, the principal of the Tucker Clark Primary School here. I think a couple months ago you were talking about Father's Day and the bike ride that was happening. And we have Paige in here with you this time, both from the Tucker Clark Primary School.
But that's not the name that I go by.
At work.
At work, no.
So, okay. So tell me what's the name?
I am Mrs. Renelsia Gumbs.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Renelsia Gumbs.
Yes.
So he get Paige. Okay.
Nickname. It's a nickname.
Yes. So, Miss Gumbs, welcome. Mr. Harris, welcome.
Thank
and you're
you.
here this morning to talk about Literacy Week. So tell us about it.
Well, it happened. It was our literacy week. It happened November 13th to the 16th or the 17th. The 17th, the Monday to Friday. So we had activities at school, and we culminated with our road match, so to speak, our community match, and it was like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So why Literacy Week? We know the importance of it, but why? What was the rationale behind it for the school?
Well, I think being in the technological age that we're in right now, a lot of the students, as we were just discussing with the producer, they don't read for fun anymore. They don't read for pleasure. So we were trying to bring that back for them to understand the importance of reading just for fun, because it opens up a world of possibility. So that was our focus. The theme was actually
an ocean of possibility.
An ocean of possibility. So we're trying to bring back the fun in reading, the need to actually want to read because you can. We used to read as children just because we used to show off and say, I could read a whole paragraph and you could only read 2 sentences. And so we wanted to bring that back in the students.
Do you find that students read often? I mean, as often as perhaps we did once ago in terms of books?
Definitely not.
I would say no. No, it has changed. Technology, as Mr. Harris said, it has taken over. And back then, you didn't have as much internet. You had the dial-up and that kind of noise.
Yeah.
And it took a longer time. You had the dictionaries, you had the encyclopedias. But no, those are kind of extinct. And they have the devices, but the devices they're using for TikTok, to play games, to browse other videos, do all sorts of different things. But reading is not much a part of it. And it's not just at this school or that school. It seems like it's a worldwide issue that we're having right now.
So with the Literacy Week and reading, were the children reading from tablets or regular books?
Usually, well, it was a week of activities. So for them to understand how fun reading could be, we often invite persons to come to read to them.
Okay.
And they say it was so interesting because one particular parent, she came to read to the students and she bought a bunch of props. So the story was about birds and I think their homes. And she bought a bird house for every child that she read to. And it was so fun and it was so engaging. And so we wanted the students to understand that life is like a story. And only you can write that story, and it can only come into fruition if you read. And so that was our mantra, I guess, for the week.
So was there any reading competition in a sense where they had to perhaps deliver anything?
That's something we could.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the ideas that we had, but because of the number of stuff that was happening around the time before, it didn't get to come off. However, next year we will have that for sure. But we did have Read to Me, where persons from the community, they actually came in and they read to the students, and they dressed up like they were going to bed. They had on their PJs and their blankets. And persons came in and they read stories to them, and it was really fascinating to see.
Oh, so that's the day I saw those children in their pajamas?
Perhaps, yes.
Okay.
It was story time.
Okay, so what else? What other activities did you have for Literacy Week?
I think the Monday was Language Day.
Language Day.
So in our school, we have students that speak
Spanish,
various languages. And so we try to expose all of the students to that.
Good stuff.
So we had persons coming in to speak
Hindi.
Mandarin, even sign language.
Yes.
And the students had a kick out of that. They really enjoyed it. And I think it helped them to understand our differences, because sometimes we look at the Spanish students in our school and we're like, what are they really saying? And so give them an opportunity to actually understand how the students might feel in a sea where everybody's speaking English, we're the only ones speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
And so they kind of got an understanding, and they were able to be a little bit more empathetic towards the students. I like the concept as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So do you believe we should introduce varying languages at primary school level and not wait until we get to high school?
Yes. I agree that we should either Spanish or Mandarin, because
Yeah, those are the two, because a lot of our students are going to Taiwan.
Right.
Yes.
And then we have the Spanish community that's growing in St. Kitts.
So we need a bilingual community.
Yeah.
People should learn a second language just
because.
Just to function, because, yes.
And it's easier for children to retain that information.
That's correct.
When we have English and you give them Mandarin, you hear a child saying ni hao. Well, I can't really say it.
That's okay.
Else.
You're good.
That's it. That's all I have. Ni hao. So, but it will be amazing to see. We have those basic skills.
Yes.
Because you go into a Chinese supermarket, sometimes they're speaking, you don't understand them, and sometimes they don't understand you because you ask for something simple, and they just point. Yeah. So we need to understand each other.
And sometimes they don't even study you. They
just
say, it's too much trouble. Let me just go.
And one of the things that we discuss at the school level is the school, while it is responsible for educating the students, it's not just the school who should hold that responsibility.
Agreed.
Educating our students, our children, our nation's children should be a multifaceted approach. The community should be involved. Parents should be involved. So some of us as parents were of the view that, okay, well, I send my child to teach.
Yes.
Let me call the teacher and tell the teacher, hello, teach my child what you're supposed to teach her at school, because when she come home, I ain't have no time. We should make time for our students, because at the end of the day, these students are our investment, and we must see a return on our investment. So it shouldn't just be a school activity or a school's responsibility. It should be the entire community, the entire nation.
Yeah. And how did you get let me ask it this way, is the community where the school, was there any persons from that particular community involved in the Literacy Week?
Yes.
Yes, there were persons. I can't give you the name because names
That's okay.
as to who they are, but
that was our
it was
focus,
a lot.
Okay.
It was about 20,
nice.
about 21, because Tucker Clark is a very big school, and each grade has 3 rooms. So we had to get persons for each room.
Okay.
So we had persons for Read to Me, that was the Tuesday. We had persons for the Language Day. And they were all excited to be on board. So perhaps next year.
You guys can come and read to the students.
Yeah, nice, nice.
And we have good amount of parents.
They are good. Yeah, I don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I like kids. I like helping them, but nowadays it's hard because the kids kind of different to us. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
That's what we need to do. We need to try to get them back. Well, get them to where we were.
Yes.
Where school was exciting and exams were exciting and reading was fun. My mother used to bring a book home every Friday, and she would say, Devon, this book is for the whole week. By the same day she bring the book done.
Yeah, because you're excited to get to the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when she doesn't bring the book, I get disappointed. But at the end of the day, students don't feel that way anymore.
No.
And we need to bring that back. We need to bring that fire or light that fire.
Yeah. Once more, because the kids have the tablet, and we think the tablet teaching them to read. Yeah, the tablet teaching them certain things, but they're not reading.
They're just on
and
videos.
books can be on the tablet.
We just had that discussion. My son often, he loves his phone. He has a phone. He got a phone for his birthday, and he's always on the phone watching YouTube videos. And I would always say to him, Desiree, why not read about something?
Yeah.
And so after I had the conversation with him, he would send me stuff daily. He said, Daddy, you should try reading this because I found it interesting. So now I'm forced to read because I now have to tell him how I feel about what he sent me. And I was just telling Miss Gumbs the same thing. We have to harness that. We have to promote that in our children. It's not just about giving them a device. It's monitoring what they're doing on the device, giving them the instructions that they need when it comes to the device. I'm giving you 2 passages to read. By the time the day is out, I want you to come and explain to me what you read. These are little things that we can do to help our children to get that fire back inside of them.
Additionally, you could, for children who are starting out to read, of course, they won't know everything.
Yes.
A strategy parents can use, and I have seen it work, is that you have little cards with words like wall, fridge, TV. You place them around your house and say, darling, pass me the thing over there on the what over there, and they will say, oh, mommy, that's TV, that's wall. So they will learn to read even when you're going through. What's that sign up there? Mr. Harris was giving me a story yesterday about his daughter. Like, she was having a bit of a difficulty with regards to reading. And he would point on different things, and she would say, oh, Daddy, that's the bus stop. So you encourage children to read in everywhere, in every place that you go. It's not difficult. It should not be difficult.
It shouldn't, but do you see them kids walking with the tablet, they're never looking up. They have it, and then
that's true, that's true.
Yeah, boy.
We have to change that. Reading should be a part of them. You know? Because no child should go through school for 11, 12, 14 years and have to do a thumbprint. You should be able to write, you should be able to read. And it may not be at a level like everyone else, but some aspect of it must
because we're not all academically inclined the same way. So
But I always feel if the love of reading is inculcated early, right? I think in most cases the kids will realize. Like I always use the picture of. Think of, like, I used to tell my daughter, she's 13 now. I used to tell her, I said, you see, I opened a book. I said, you see all those words?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you realize what I was just reading? That's the picture. That picture that you had in your head when I was reading that's what all those words create.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most kids, if you approach it that way and they realize, man, all those words on that page,
get the idea,
that's what creating these pictures in my head.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that would intrigue most kids and get them motivated to read if you do it properly. You know?
And kids learn differently. You have to know the students' niche. You have to know what drives them. And that's what we try to do at our school. Whatever strategies we know can assist specific students, we use them. Because like you said, everyone, they don't learn the same way.
We don't.
So we have to find the way in which the students learn in order to keep their grasp and maintain their attention.
Yes, and comprehension is very important. Parents, comprehension is very important. Just to communicating with children, it's important. Just asking them a question when they get home, how was your day? A child would just say, good. And then that's it.
That's it, yeah.
That's like, you don't have any explanation. Like, what you mean good? What made your day good? You ask probing questions because you need to get deeper, because it gives them a deeper understanding of how things are and how they should explain things. Because I remember speaking to a teacher, and she said that if she gives a child a half mark, the child will always come back, teacher, why this is only a half mark? This isn't supposed to be a whole mark. And then he will go down and he will come back up again and say, but teacher, don't you think my answer is supposed to be this? Because he wants the whole mark. And that shows that there's communication in his household. And that's what's needed.
And the interest is there too. Because another child will just take the half mark
and be happy.
They're like, well, I saying it wrong.
I get a
but
half.
he's fighting for his
full mark. I like that.
I
like that.
And it shows that some critical thinking is happening too.
Yeah, because he think he wrote enough to get his full mark, but the teacher didn't think it was enough. But he wants to know what else can he do to make it enough, and why his writing wasn't enough.
And that's what you want to encourage.
Yes.
Another thing I tell my daughter is, when you're reading, practice looking up a word that you run into that you never...
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, I keep telling her that. Like, she'd always come and ask me, oh, what's this concept? What's this word? I said, go and look it up and then come back and tell me.
That's the purpose of the device.
Yes, exactly.
You shouldn't be
not even the device, the dictionary. I make her use the dictionary.
That's
I said,
good.
no, not online. Use the dictionary. We bought your dictionary for school. Use the dictionary. If you can't find it there, then maybe you could use Google or whatever.
Wow. So we know the Literacy Week has concluded. Did you think that you accomplished everything that you wanted to accomplish in that week? And if you didn't, what measures are you going to take to ensure that going forward it is better than the last ones you would have had?
Okay, well, I think in everything that we do and everything that we plan, all things don't go the way that we usually hope that they would. And so there are things that we can change as it relates to the Literacy Week this year, going forward to next year. One of the things that we were discussing earlier is we want to reach more. We want it to be more than just our community. So we were discussing even collaborating with other schools in the area so that we can have a big final rally where at the end of the rally, students can meet in a particular space. They can be read to, they can be encouraged to read themselves, have specific activities laid out for them so that it can be not just, we can encourage them to understand that reading can be fun. And I think that's one of the things that we might have missed throughout all our activities. We want to encourage students to understand that reading is fun. And I don't think they understand it. It's fundamental, but it should be fun as well.
See, fun isn't fundamental.
Right. One of the things that we want to push, because it's a way to get them to do it on their own.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I don't think we met. We did not meet that criteria where students don't just want to read anymore. We want to get that drive in them.
Yeah.
So we will have to sit down and discuss measures that we can take to ensure that that happens. Because like we were discussing earlier, we want to light that fire back into students where they understand that learning is just fun.
Yes,
it's not as difficult as we make it seem.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes. So I want to say congratulations on the initiative that you guys have taken at the Tucker Clark Primary School to make sure that reading is not only fundamental but ensure that it is fun. Yes.
There you guys have a catchphrase for next year.
Well, the students usually come up with the theme.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll probably-
Nice.
Who do we who came up with the theme this year? It was
I did.
You came up with the theme?
Yes, but they designed the shirt.
They designed the shirt around the theme. Right.
Okay.
Yes.
You got some
So we
entrepreneurs
get the
coming up
students
there.
involved
Yes.
in every aspect of the activities.
Okay, good stuff.
Awesome.
And they should be.
Yes.
Because it's there. Yeah.
So, guys, as we conclude this segment, we want to say, thank you for being a part of the show here this morning. We want to say, don't be strangers. You're welcome to come in and, discuss what activities you're having in the school. We'd like to hear about it.
Yes, we'll be back to promote our activities for next school year.
Awesome. Also, those persons out there who have been listening, we want to say thank you so much for engaging with us here on Island Tea. I see those persons who have been commenting. I want to say thank you so much. Your views, your comments, we read it, we engage as much as we can, and we want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show as well. And to say, tomorrow, same time, same place, God's willing, Island Tea, we're keeping the tea hot. And I'm wondering what tea are we going to have tomorrow.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yes.
Yeah. Today was green tea for those folks. But then we did mention that we had green tea already, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Maybe it's ginger.
My
So-
coffee ran out. So my coffee ran out, so I'm going to have to have tea tomorrow.
Okay. That's a good thing.
I'll have some of that tea again.
Okay.
Yes. And ginger is a nice spice.
Yeah.
2 minutes until 10 o'clock. We have Sugar Fix coming up, the Winner FM edition of Sugar Fix coming up. And we're going to be talking soaker size for sugar mass. And that's coming up. And you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Paige.
Bye.
Let's go.
All right.